This is episode 60 of the VR Gaming Podcast. We're on YouTube and every podcast platform. I'm Justin, aka mame-fan, and I'm here with Alex, aka Virtual Insider. Alex, what a month it's been for VR.
Oh my god. It's been incredible. There's been 0 games released. It's been so busy not playing games.
Do you think this has been the worst month ever since 2016?
I feel like every month usually there's at least one game that comes out that you want to play, but there's been literally, has there been anything? I've not played anything new this month.
I played one new game that I was mildly interested in, and that's it. I can't even think. I can't think of anything. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it, but I can't think of anything else that came out that had me even slightly interested.
Yeah, we were talking last month about how I'm especially backlogged with games. So it would have been a good month for me to catch up, but then I've had loads of like DIY stuff and stuff I've been doing, so I've not even had a chance to play anything. But we've got a few bits to talk about at least.
Yeah. Before we move on to what we've been playing, I wanted to say thank you to Brian Bell for his generous donation. We don't make a cent off this podcast. We don't have YouTube monetization yet, and the Spotify ads I've tried to place never paid anything. So people like Brian are much appreciated. So thank you. Alex hasn't seen any of that money yet, but maybe I'll share. Maybe
it's fine. I don't want. I'm doing it for the love. Yeah. I don't do it for the money.
Yeah, I guess I do it partly for the money, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for the money because we don't get any money. It's just
we don't earn any money. Yeah,
we're just happy that people are listening and that they actually like it enough to throw a few bucks our way. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, it's an honor to have someone give their hard-earned cash.
Yeah, so
to listen to us talk shit about games.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll go to my first game. This is the only thing that came out this month that had me interested at all. It's Retronika. Let me get this video going.
Oh, I know.
You remember that? I talked about this before.
Is that like an on rails thing? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a motorcycle. So it's this motorcycle thing where it's kind of three-dimensional. So you can go up and down, you can go left and right, and of course you can go diagonally all over the place. And it's just this tunnel that you go through.
Right.
And you're shooting at drones, and sometimes there's turret guns shooting at you. And there are even boss levels. I've been through a boss level. And it's only $9.99. So I think it's a pretty good deal, but the issue is there isn't much else to it. I mean, this is basically all it is. You're going, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you're seeing gameplay footage of it. This isn't my footage, it's somebody else's. But so there's handlebars in front of you on this bike. You can grab them with both hands, and you use the grip buttons, and you steer it. Just like a motorcycle, you steer it left, you steer it right. So that's how you go left and right. But to go up and down, you have to pull up on the handlebars, and you'll go up, push down, and you'll go down. So that works. So you have to use both hands to be able to go up and down. But if you want to use a gun, so you could have a gun in your left hand and your right hand. So to use the gun in the right hand, you need to take your right hand off of the handlebar, and the gun will automatically appear in your hand. So then you can steer left and right while you shoot the drones and stuff. And to accelerate, you push the left thumbstick forward. So instead of rotating it like a real motorcycle, they did the left thumbstick. I think the rotating it probably wouldn't work well enough, or probably wouldn't be responsive enough. I don't know. Have you played VR motorcycle games, and do they do a rotating of the handle, or how do they handle it usually? Because you like racing games.
Yeah, there was that VR. What's that V-Racer hoverbike game? Yeah. I think they had an option for you could do like a twist grip. Some people had like rigs where they've set up some sort of thing where they can literally attach the handlebars, the controls to actual handlebars and everything. But usually, I just use the triggers to accelerate. Obviously, you're using your triggers to fire the guns in this, so you can't really do that.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they've used the thumbsticks.
Well, you could
Seems a bit. It
yeah.
seems a bit like what's the point? Because obviously, I mean, and I'm guessing, not played it, but I'm guessing in this game you are spending a lot of time shooting at things. So it feels like really you're only really going left and right because to go up and down you have to grab both handlebars. So
I would say
surely most of the time,
no, most of the levels actually you're not shooting.
oh,
Yeah. So like if
okay,
so you can watch a guy playing right now. Most of this is you're just weaving through traffic. And
oh, I thought it
then
was the yeah,
and
interesting.
then so at some point drones will kind of swoop in and start shooting at you, or maybe some turret gun things on the sides will start shooting at you. So I would say it's more than 50% just driving.
Right.
Um
So you're actually most of the time you're actually like weaving through traffic and avoiding things.
yeah, and that's my favorite part of the game. It's just
Yeah, that makes me more interested in it because I thought
yeah,
it was just shooting stuff.
nah. Like okay, so this level that it's on the screen right now, this one just appears to be just oh no, now it's shooting. But you could see how little shooting this has been. But I'm at like
Yeah.
level like 19 and I think there are 50 levels in this. One thing about it is I would say each level is like pretty much as short as a minute. That's how short they are. So it
Right.
kind of feels like a mobile game. And it
Yeah, it's
even
got that
yeah,
mobile game feel to it. Like just the
yeah.
structure of the game seems like a mobile game.
Yeah, and even when you finish a level, you'll get, up to 1 through up to 3 stars, just like a lot of mobile games do. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Um there but there are upgrades, so you earn money by beating a level and there are 9 weapons you can buy and you can get upgrades to your bike like speed and turning and brakes and acceleration and gas and other things too. And like I said, 50 levels. So I don't know how much it changes, but so far it has been pretty repetitive. And all of the levels are just a straightaway. There are no turns, which is,
Mm,
maybe later in the game it'll change, but all I've ever seen in gameplay videos is just this straight tunnel.
yeah.
But for 9.99, I think it's worth it. But one negative about it is it has an overly talkative floating robot, which many games have.
Yeah.
I could name a million games that have a chatty floating robot. And so like but here he is on the screen right here. He but you can skip his dialogue luckily. But yeah, he talks a lot. Um so like you beat a level, then he's going to talk to you a bunch. Then you beat the next level, then he's going to talk to you a bunch. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Um but for 9.99, I think it's a good deal. There's a leaderboard, and guess who I saw on the leaderboard with much higher scores than me?
Luke.
Yep, Fluke.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got the scores he got, but he was like number 1 on the leaderboard. I'd like to ask him how he did that.
I mean, he's just better than you, really. That's what it
Yeah, he
comes down to.
is. He's really good at a lot of games. Um, so I think that's it for Retronika. It's a Quest exclusive, so you're not going to see it on
Oh.
Steam or PSVR unless
It
it's a
seems
time.
it fits the quest though. I mean, it does seem like a quest game.
Yeah. And normally, like I say, in this video right now, all these cars look this, all the vehicles that you're avoiding look the same. Usually they all look very different. Like some are a big boxy trash truck and some are small and then some look like like a minivan and some look like a convertible. Like it looks more interesting than what you're seeing in this video right now. Let me see if there's yeah, like this one is
Yeah.
showing more diversity in the vehicles you're avoiding. And the vehicles don't stay put. They will veer into you. There'll be a vehicle above you. You think you're fine going under it, and then it just all of a sudden crashes down into you. So it can get pretty hectic. All right, you want to go to the next game?
Yep.
All right, it's I think the only game you played.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
Lego Bricktales.
Yeah, and you've played it now, so we can talk about your experience with it.
Yeah, I've played it. I've played it a good amount. So I've gotten to the swamp. Where have you gotten to? So it's first it's the jungle, then it's the like Egyptian pyramid area, then the next level is the swamp, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I'm not at the swamp yet. I think I'm at the like Egyptian part.
Okay.
I think.
All right. So what I did was I know you said you put it in the VR mode because
Yeah,
it's like looks better higher res. I
yeah.
used Quest Games Optimizer to jack it up to 200% super sampling, and I put the GPU at ultra, and then I did MR, and it looked good enough for me to be happy with it.
Do you prefer it in MR then?
I prefer it in MR personally. So I like seeing my room around it more than more than the just the boring ass solid color.
Yeah.
Also, here's another weird thing. So the performance was fine in MR. If I switched to VR with that 200% super sampling, the performance was horrible.
It's weird.
Uh, I
It's almost like
think,
MR is just really undersampled or something.
yeah, the MR must be really undersampled, and the VR mode must have gone to the full 200%, and then it just couldn't. My Quest just couldn't handle it because just even
Yeah.
just like
The
moving
VR
it.
mode just looks so much better though. If
Well,
from standard, like as it
well,
comes out of
yeah,
the
without using the Quest Games Optimizer. There was still aliasing with Quest Games Optimizer in the MR mode, but it was like low enough that it didn't bother me. But without Quest Games Optimizer, yeah, I considered it unplayable in MR mode because it was so aliased. So I'm curious what you think of like 200% with GPU at Ultra if you want to try it in MR.
I might try it because this is the game I bought for MR because I felt like it was more of a it felt more like a game that would work better in MR.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it is fine in VR because obviously you're just doing the same thing. It's just in it, like you say, if you're start doing something like this where it's literally just you sat in a chair, you just like moving your hands around, just like with the Lego set, it just makes sense to me to just be in your room rather than be in a virtual environment.
Yeah, it does feel cool in your room. Um, so let me see. So when I was playing in the so this is the scene they're showing right now in the video is like the intro scene. Then after that you go to the jungle. When I was in the jungle, I was like, "Oh, I really like this game." And I was like thinking this is reminding me of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which you've probably never played. But
No.
that's a Wii. It was originally a Wii U game, then they ported it to Switch, and I really love that game. It's it's a lot like this, but Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is it's 100% like a platformer, like a puzzle platformer. There's no having to build structures or anything like that. You're
Yeah.
just trying to get from point A to point B and find all the little hidden items on the way. Um, it reminded me of that, and I was liking it, but then I started to get tired of it. No, do you? I'm curious if you know why. If you can guess why.
Too much talking?
Too much fucking talking. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's so many other little characters you come up to, and then you have this long ass conversation, and it's bubbles with text, and it's just too much. So and basically every time they need you to build something to help them. So they need you to build a bridge, or they need you to build a helicopter, or whatever. So I mean, are you liking it less now, or the same, or?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think I do. It's a game that I don't play in like long sessions for some reason. I do
Mm-hmm.
find not because of the talking, more just I think just mentally. Maybe I'm just not very good at these Lego building things, but I just find
Yeah.
myself mentally having to like think a lot to try and build all this shit and get it because you have to obviously engineer it so that it works. You can't just slap some bricks together. It's got to actually function as it needs to function. And like so, after I've done a few like puzzles or whatever you want to call them, I do find myself like just turning it off and doing something else.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not a game. I mean, how long do you? How long would you play for? Like an hour a session? I don't know how
Yeah.
long you
Like
would play
yeah,
for.
about that, and then I get pretty tired of it.
Yeah, I'm like 30, 40 minutes and I'm like done. I'm ready to do something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. There have been some
It's fun.
there have been some building things that have really stumped me, and
Yeah.
I wanted a hint, but there's no hint system that I could figure out.
Yeah, I was surprised by that because it is quite challenging at times, and I do feel like sometimes if there was just some sort of hint just to get you started, like some sort of basic structure started or something, sometimes it just help you along. But there's nothing like that. I mean, I've literally had to look some stuff online just because I was stuck so much just to get past certain sections. So it's not an easy game at all. Like
Yeah.
not what
And
I thought it would be easier than what it is.
in the menu, in the settings menu, I found a button for that said, I need a hint or I need help or something like that.
Right.
And I kept clicking on it and nothing would happen. Then I was like, all right, dude, does anything in this menu work? And then I tried other things and they would work. But that I need help or whatever it was would not do anything. So I don't know if they just forgot to
Strange.
turn that on or what.
Yeah, I wonder if it's in the non-VR game and
Yeah.
just not adapted it to work in VR or something. I don't know. It does feel like it needs some sort of hint system.
Yeah, so when you're walking around these levels, it looks great. The greatest thing about this game is how great it looks. I think it's very colorful and just looks, looks almost real, like real Legos in front of you.
Yeah,
But then when you get to the building thing, just like you're seeing on the screen right now, it then switches to this white kind of tabletop view, and I don't really like that. I'm not sure. Maybe maybe it would have been too hard for them to render the actual world and then also have you build in it. So they had to do this white thing. Like, what do you think?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It does like 'cause obviously in virtual reality, you're literally just in like a white room, basically. Uh,
Yeah,
it is kind of like because like you say, the main environments are so lush
yeah,
and so dense of environment. Like everything looks so great. It just looks like actual pieces of Lego in front of you because the lighting looks incredible. The material effects, like the way that the plastic like has a little plasticky type of shine to it. It's just
hmm
everything is so perfect. Then when you go to actually build stuff, it is kind of boring. Like you because you're
yeah,
building it separate to the main environment. It would have been cool if you could have built. Because obviously, sometimes like, you're building a bridge for the environment, but you're not build you build the bridge separate, and then it just appears in the environment
yeah,
rather than you building the bridge while you're actually in the environment for the. So I think that is a little bit of a disappointment, but I guess that is just a performance. That must be just a performance thing or
yeah,
something
yeah. Because
like that.
I bet all the physics calculations it has to do during these building sections is probably just more than it can handle
Yeah, and then they've
while
got to
also
lay out the
rendering.
pieces and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff. I do get it, but it is a
yeah,
bit like it would have been cool to build stuff whilst you're in the actual levels themselves.
yeah. So I'll probably keep playing it. Like this is a good game. So like say I've been with my daughter all day, my 5-year-old daughter, and I'm just like tired as hell, which is often the case. Then I could just sit down and play a game like this, but probably not if we did a bunch of Lego that day. Probably don't want
Yeah.
to see another fucking Lego.
Yeah, it's nice.
Um,
It's a nice game to just chill, even though you do obviously have to think and use your brain. But you can just sit down and just like move. Yeah, it's a cool little game to play when you don't want to play anything too action focused or
yeah,
anything that's going to be too intensive.
Yeah, there's no jumping, there's no platforming, so it's not like a Mario game. You can press the trigger and then it'll do this kind of like jetpack thing that he does, but he goes up and then he comes back down and you use it to destroy things. But that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not yeah. It's definitely not a platformer.
yeah. I wish somebody would make a platformer. Maybe somebody already has, and I just haven't played it because like an
For
MR plat
Legos.
or just any
Oh,
any any cool MR platformer that looked this good.
yeah. I mean, I don't think. I mean, this is one of the best looking games I've seen on the Quest. So
Yeah,
but yeah, it does show really like what's possible though because like, this looks so good.
yeah,
Um, like so if someone was talented enough, they could make like a little actual platformer like this, but rather than you just walking around building stuff, you're actually platforming and going through little mazes and things. It would be cool. It would be a cool way to use. I really want to try that. Is it Wall Town Wonders or what it's called? Because
hmm
visually that looks like it could be really interesting.
yeah. I've heard lots of people say it's kind of boring. Is the problem?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. It's made by the same people who did Hubris, and I think that they're really good at making things look good, but
Yeah.
the gameplay side of things feels a bit lacking uh, overall.
Okay. All right. Next game
Yep.
is Arizona Sunshine Remake. I think this is Gamertag's video. So I played this multiplayer
Did you?
with the neighbor girl.
Oh,
Yeah. So we played this. We got all the way to the last level, and we haven't gotten a chance to finish it. And so she played on Quest 3, like just standalone, and I played on PC. So I didn't get to see what it looked like for her, and she didn't get to see what it looked like for me. That would have been interesting if we had swapped headsets
yeah.
to see her reaction. Um, because we were playing in the same room, so we could have. We were
Yeah,
just
you
like,
maybe should do that for the final bit.
yeah. So the big difference with this is, they upgraded the graphics to, like Arizona Sunshine 2 level. They added melee, which the original didn't have. They added two-handed weapons, which I don't think the original had. I think it was all pistols in the original.
Yeah, pistols and like Uzis and just like one-handed shotguns and stuff.
Well, there might have been a sniper rifle in one section
Yeah, but
in the.
you was like on a you didn't. I don't think you picked it up, did you?
Oh,
I
you
think you
couldn't.
kind of like
Oh,
just.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
and
think so.
in this one you can take it with you,
Oh right.
and it's the same old thing basically, except for those added elements. And I felt like it was easier than before. I don't know if it could be because I've already played Arizona Sunshine a few times, or
Yeah,
maybe having all this melee and stuff made it too easy, and just being able to handle the guns better felt pretty easy.
yeah.
I'm not, I what I wanted to do was do like a comparison and go back to the original 2016 Arizona Sunshine, and then I'd have a better idea of like the difference. But I didn't get a chance to do that.
I mean, the original feels really dated now. It feels very old. Looks obviously very basic, like visually, and just even just like the gameplay itself just feels not as good. Like opening doors and things feels a bit
Hmm.
clunky. So like when you jump into Arizona Sunshine 2, you can definitely feel it feels more like a modern VR game compared to the original. And I'm
Yeah.
guessing that the remake is just the same thing, but just updated controls and visuals and everything.
Yeah, in the video, he just climbed physically up the ladder. I don't think you could do that in their first one. I think it was just like a
Yeah, I can't
teleport.
remember. Hmm.
I'm not sure. Um, what else is there to say about it? I don't know.
It's the
Oh,
it's the original game, but better, I guess.
and it comes with all the DLC. And
Yeah.
so I finished one of the DLC. I think it's called Dead Man, but I never did the Damned one, so I should do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a good reason to play.
Yeah, and I think it was only wasn't it only 9.99 if you already own Arizona Sunshine?
Yeah, it was like an upgrade if you already
Yeah,
own the original.
yeah, it's a
So
great
it's
deal.
worth it for that if you want to if you, especially if you've not played the DLC. Like I played the DLC as well. Like I played both of the DLC for Arizona Sunshine, and I would probably play it again in co-op, but I'm not in a rush to play it again, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so she was way more into it than me, but of course this was the first time she's ever played Arizona Sunshine, you know.
Yeah,
Whereas I'm not that interested, but we'll finish it. Okay. Next game. Orcs Must Die Deathtrap UEVR. So, I've talked before about Orcs Must Die 3. I that might have been my favorite game that I played in VR in 2024. So, I wanted to try this game. This is a UE5 game, and I think this is the first Unreal Engine 5 game that I've tried in UEVR, and I found that the performance was an issue. I couldn't super sample it very much, if at all, even with my 4090.
yeah,
It could run at native stereo fine, whereas Orcs Must Die 3 I had to put it sync sequential. Um a few times it froze in the headset for some reason, but not on the PC. So I could like look through my nose gap and see that the game's running fine on my PC, but in my headset it's frozen. And then all I had to do then was quit out of virtual desktop and then go back into virtual desktop, and then it's fine in my headset. So
right,
the main issue I have with this game is I don't really like the gameplay. Um, so one of the things in Orcs Must Die that you need to use a lot, one of the most important elements is barricades. In this game, they give you a limited number of barricades. Like the barricades don't cost any money, but you can only place a certain number of them. I really don't like that, and I've seen other people complaining about that. And then every level you go into, it does this thing where it says you have to choose from 3 different cards. It's one of these things where if you played a game where it's like, you know, the 3 card options, it's always they all have something negative in them. Like you'll
right,
have double powered shotgun, but every hit you take takes, away triple the health. You'll
right,
have cheaper traps, but your traps won't be as effective. So every level you go into, it makes you do that, and it's like they're in this game they added all these like weird extra elements that I don't understand. I just wish they would just stick to the I don't know, just the old way these games work. So I just played it once and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna play it again in VR or flat.
yeah,
So stick to Orcs Must Die 3 in UEVR is my recommendation. That's like
yeah,
all I have to say about that. I played the Aim Assault demo, which you talked about in the last episode. Um,
yeah.
so
What do you think?
so yeah, a lot of people have said this is like Time Crisis. It is, except as you were talking about before, you don't really take cover. I mean, you can physically take cover, but you don't really need to much. At least this is one level. There's a training level and then there's one actual level. The bullets come at you slowly enough that you can just kind of dodge them. Sort of like Compound, which is a game that I love. But in this game, this is a rail shooter, so you can't use your left thumbstick to move around or anything. You're just kind of stuck in one spot, and it just moves you on a rail. I thought it was good, but I'm not like impressed enough to be like looking forward to the release or anything. But it's
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. It is what it is. It's obviously just a rail shooter, but I just thought it was for a rail shooter. I don't know. It was something I enjoyed about the gunplay and the. It felt like a pistol whip, but without the rhythm element. It just felt
yeah,
really fast paced, and you just like reacting to I feel like it's one of those where you could go through the levels a few times and it would feel really fun because you literally just like quickly taking guys out quickly because you know where they're going to be coming from and stuff. It's one of those where if they have some sort of leaderboard, you probably would enjoy it a lot more, I guess.
Yeah, the demo does have a leaderboard, and guess who's near the top? Fluke. I I played the level like one more time to see where I can get in the leaderboard. There's some leaderboard where I got kind of high up. Uh, so there's like a daytime and a nighttime of that level one. Maybe it was the nighttime or something. I don't know. Then there's also you could have one gun or two guns. So there's a different leaderboard for each of those.
Yeah.
I never tried two guns. I don't
I
know
can
if you
never aim
did.
properly with two guns.
That's how I feel.
I find it easy to, yeah, I feel like I can aim way better with one because
Yeah.
if you're pointing in two different directions, I'm not really aiming properly, so I'm way less accurate. But I guess you can just spam shots more. But
Mhm.
I prefer to like be more accurate and precise. Just use one gun.
I felt like it was too easy, but maybe there was a difficulty setting and I didn't change it. Maybe it would have been harder
Do
if
you
I
have
put
like
it.
crosshairs and stuff on there?
Did I have cross? Maybe that was the problem. Maybe I had the crosshairs and that made it too easy. Were
Because
you?
I turned them off. Yeah.
Ah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, in real life, you're not gonna have a crosshair unless you had a laser sight or something.
Yeah, I just find crosshairs make aiming really easy
Too,
in VR, so I just
yeah,
turn them off.
yeah. I probably should have tried that. Okay. That's all we have to talk about as far as well. Oh wait, no, we don't. I've skipped. I skipped one. Oh,
What did you
I'm.
skip?
Did I download this? Yeah, I'm gonna have to add a media source while we're recording. I should be able to do this fast. Did I download it? I didn't download it. Hmm.
What game is it?
Silent Slayer.
Oh, the vampire thing.
Yeah. Well, I've talked about it before. So if you want to see Silent
Yeah.
Slayer, you can look up my video. Mame-fan Silent Slayer. I just forgot to download it.
You finished
So
it
I
now?
beat it. Yeah, I beat Silent
Yeah.
Slayer. Um,
Slayed them all.
I slayed all 10 vampires. So I'll just leave up this aim assault demo while I talk about Silent Slayer. So it took me 5 hours. I think it was 5 hours. So Silent Slayer is by the same developers as I Expect You to Die, and
Yeah.
the difference between them is with I Expect You to Die. The developer is Shell Games. The difference is, and I Expect You to Die. You're often like wondering what the fuck was I supposed to do, and you have to do a lot of trial and error of figuring out what you're. And a lot of times it's timed, and you'll just get
Yeah.
like frustrated and pissed off. And Silent Slayer, you pretty much know exactly what you have to do. The hard part is actually getting it done. Because you have to be so precise and you have to be so slow and patient. That's where the challenge is, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that it's not some sort of annoying guessing game.
Yeah. It's no. It's more just you just having to physically do the action rather than like figuring out what to do.
Yeah, and it's like surgical precision, and you have to
Yeah.
not shake your hand, just like playing Operation, but
Yeah.
way more complicated. Especially when you get up to these higher vampires out of the 10 vampires. So you can beat the game at 9 vampires, but there's a final vampire that, is like the real ending. There's actually 3 different endings to the game. It's like there's an ending if you beat the ninth vampire, then there's an ending for the 10th, 2 different endings for the 10th vampire, depending on which action you take.
Right.
And my main problem, I think, what I struggled with in this game is aiming the stake at the vampire's hearts. Like sometimes they have some vampires have 3 hearts, so you have to do 3 stakes in their chest, and you have to use this kind of this dummy heart that you hold in front of their chest, and it flashes when you get close to their heart, and then you need to mark, okay, that's where a heart is, and then here's where a heart is, and I think I wasn't marking where their hearts were in the exact right place. So then when I was like plunging the stake in their chest, I wasn't hitting the heart, and then I was dying. So I don't know. Just be careful about, if you play this Silent Slayer, be careful about how you set up the places where you need to plunge the stake. You should be good. I guess that's all I'm going to say. I recommend that game, but only if you're very patient.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't think you would be patient enough for that game, but I guess you've got persistence and patience at the same time.
Yeah, having a 5-year-old, you have to have a lot of patience. It's been tested quite a lot, so I'm pretty
Yeah,
patient.
I'm not
Um,
patient enough for that game. I got frustrated with it.
yeah, but then yeah, you've seen me messing with stuff like UEVR where I'm impatient as hell.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. All right, so now we're going to upcoming games. So here is a list. So we've recently learned about Gorn 2, and I'll show a
Yeah.
video of that. I'll show a video. We don't have a release date yet for Gorn 2. It's coming to all the platforms, but the a lot of the content creators already got it, already have been playing it, and they have videos out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
must be soon then.
Yeah, you think so. Now, I like Gorn a lot. The Gorn came out in like 2016, and to me, this doesn't really look much different.
No, that's my problem with it.
Yeah.
If it's looked like it's just an arena again, the same thing as again. Like they've obviously added different arenas and traps and things, and but I mean, I saw on Reddit like it was posted about their announcements, and a lot of the comments were the same thing where it was like they liked Gone, but they just don't really know if they really want to play more Gone. Like it's just, and I feel the same way. I just don't know if I might end up playing it. I don't know, but it's not something I'm like excited to play. That's for sure.
I'll definitely buy it because I liked Gorn, but yeah, I'm not excited. This It looks the same except they've added more traps, like a lot of dynamic traps, and like I've seen in the trailer, there's like bulls running through, and there's that spiked bat thing flying around. I mean, but the graphics look the same. They might even, in some ways, they look worse to me. I don't know. Like it looks.
No, I think they look the
You
same.
think it looks the same? Like sometimes I think it looks too red, but maybe that's just the blood making
Because
me
of the
think that.
blood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I'm
all the
gonna say
blood.
there's blood everywhere.
Yeah. I mean,
They did have some. The original had like these boss fights, but I found that a lot of the boss fights were like, stupidly easy.
yeah, they were.
Um, from the trailer, the boss fights do look more interesting in the sequel. Like
Mm.
characters look completely different. Like there's one where you could see it like spinning around. I think actually I'm watching the trailer more. I do think they are doing quite a lot of interesting stuff with it. So I'll be interested to see. Hopefully they've like fleshed it out a bit more, made it like a bigger game, and I think it still could be a lot of fun.
Did the
I'm just
first
not
one?
like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go on. What are you saying?
Did the first one have multiplayer? Because
No.
it seems like an obvious thing. Add multiplayer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they will because there's a lot of with physics-based stuff. It can be difficult with
Yeah.
multiplayer, but
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Another
we'll see.
new. Oh, we'll see. Yeah. Uh, Another new new announcement is Civilization 7. This is coming in the spring. I think this game already came out, like the flat version. I have
Yeah,
never played a Civilization game in my life,
me neither.
and it would have to have really good reviews for me to bother.
Is this the one of these town building type things where you
Yeah.
like managing? Yeah, I've never been into these things. I haven't got the patience for. I feel like it's too much hands off. Like you literally just like deploying things and then just watching things move while then like moving stuff somewhere else and just there's a lot of like just watching things do things rather than you actually doing it yourself, which
Yeah. I feel
isn't
like
my sort of
in
style.
in VR that would be like really annoying to just sit there with a headset
Yeah.
on and just stare at this stuff.
Although it does look interesting, like from what I can see, I've never played a Civilization game, so I'm sure people will scream at us now for not knowing anything about this. But from what I saw in the trailer, it looks like it almost goes through like different ages. Let's say like you're in different times,
Yeah, it
all the way
goes
up to like
through.
maybe.
I have heard that it goes through all these different times and even up to like the modern era.
It
And
sounds interesting. That side of things sounds interesting.
I don't know how fast that happens. Like how many hours of time does that take? To
Yeah,
you know. I remember hearing about nuclear Gandhi. Like you could be Gandhi and have nukes and nuke people in some version of
yeah.
this game. Yeah,
Okay.
that's about all I know about it. All right, so here's another new announcement is Electrician Simulator. This comes out March 21st on PC and Quest. I have no interest in being that seems like one of the scariest professions of all.
Yeah.
Uh the trailer makes it sort of look like it's a joke game maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really been like these simulator games where you just like farming simulator and stuff. Uh,
Oh yeah,
you
that came
know,
out recently. Yeah. That's
truck
another thing.
simulator. I
Another
used.
thing I would never want to
Yeah.
do is farm.
Yeah. It's like I don't care. I don't want to. I don't want to be a truck driver. I don't want to be a farmer. I don't want to be an electrician. So it's like I don't know why I'd want to just do that for my spare time, not even get paid for it or do anything productive. So it is interesting though that we're getting all these games all of a sudden because last month we said like this year was looking pretty dead, that there was nothing coming out, and all of a sudden now we've already got like 3 games that we know about. So
In this trailer I just saw, it did say PSVR 2, so it's all platforms.
yeah,
I will not be getting it. Here's something I am excited
me
about.
okay,
Pinball FX VR, but this is Quest only. So
okay,
the one on Steam, originally it was on Epic Game Store, then it came to Steam. I think so that one you can play in UEVR. I tried it once and it was too laggy for me, but maybe I was trying to read in the UEVR Discord, maybe you have to lower the graphics to make it less laggy, but it was too
yeah,
like the flipper, doing the flippers was too laggy for it to be playable. So I'm thinking maybe since this one is made for the Quest, it won't be laggy. But
yeah,
if you're watching the video on YouTube, they're gonna have real pinball machines like Adam's Family and World Cup Soccer and Twilight Zone and Star Trek: The Next Generation, Indiana Jones, like all of these real Williams and Bally pinball machines are going to be in that. And so there on Steam there was a Pinball FX2 VR that came out years ago, but it was only these original tables made only for that game. It never had any real pinball machines. So that's why I'm excited about this, that they're going to have all of those real pinball machines, and you're going to be able to play them in MR also. Now,
yeah,
whether that'll look good, I don't know. Maybe you could use Quest Games Optimizer and make it look good.
yeah.
So
It's something for you. Like if you're a pinball nerd like you, then
yeah,
this is going to be something you're interested in.
and a
Definitely.
lot of people that are in the VR Gaming Podcast Discord, and Nick Lane, the original guy that created VR Gaming Podcast, he's a huge pinball nerd, like way more than me.
Yeah,
He has like 20
yeah.
pinball machines in his house. So I
That's
would have,
insane.
yeah, I know. I would have, he and like all his friends they're all like that. 20 pinball machines, and they do pinball podcasts where that's all they talk about. Yeah, like one of the reasons he quit this podcast was so he could focus more on pinball.
Yeah.
So I would think that he would get this game. There's also like there are free pinball tables like that you can play in VR that I've tried to figure out before. It's kind of complicated. It's something called visual pinball that I don't know. If somebody's listening knows about it, you know how to set it up in VR and get it working, let me know, leave a comment on YouTube. I tried once and I kind of gave up. It's something I've been meaning to go back to cuz I used to mess with visual pinball a lot like on flat screen like years and years and years ago, but way before VR. And I'd like to figure that out. Cuz then maybe you don't even need this game. Cuz visual pinball like every single pinball machine that's ever been released there's a visual pinball table out there for it. All right.
Yeah, I was looking at.
You were looking at visual pinball?
No, I think it's worth looking into
Oh,
for
worth
like
looking into.
someone like you. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Oh wait, when did I say when's this coming out?
April 3rd, is it?
I think so.
It was on the trailer.
April 3rd. All right. Yeah, April 3rd, Quest only. So we already knew about this game, The Midnight Walk.
Oh yeah, at least looks good.
Yeah, and this is a release date trailer. This is coming out May 8th on PlayStation and PC.
Yeah, it's getting VR support, which it's got like claymation. Apparently, it's actually been made. Like all of the animations and stuff were actually recorded through claymation. So they actually made the models and recorded them and put them into the engine. So it's like got that proper old school claymation kind of animation style to it, which I think
Yeah.
virtual reality will look really impressive. Like I'm really looking forward to seeing this in VR. Just like the art style, the way the animations are, and everything looks really special, and it gives it like a really unique style to it.
Watching this trailer prompted me to look up the Jason and the Argonauts skeleton fight. Did you ever see that as a
Oh yeah,
kid? Yeah,
yeah.
I liked that as a kid. I heard you just say that this is getting VR support. I thought this was a VR game. Is it a flat game?
No, it's a flat game that has VR support, so
Well,
you can play it
that
without a
worries me.
VR.
That worries me
I
then.
think.
Yeah, it worries me that the support might not be very good.
I mean, it's been published by Fast Travel Games, who are the people who
Okay.
made quite a few VR games.
Okay.
So that gives me hope that they know what they're doing and it's going to be decent.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. This is one of my top games this year that I'm looking forward to. Do we have a release date for this now?
May 8th.
Oh, okay.
No.
Not far.
I'm going to go back to this upcoming games thing Hitman on PSVR is March 27th. Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate is March 27th also. But that date is only for PlayStation and Quest. PC on Steam still says coming soon. They
Yeah.
said that if you already own Wanderer, the original, you can get The Fragments of Fate for 20% off. For me, that's not enough because I already beat Wanderer. So they're not going to get my sale. Vertigo 2 Into the Aether is March 30th, PC only. And we already talked about Pinball FX VR and the Midnight Walk. And
Yeah.
on March
Well,
11th is the VR game showcase. So they're going to show some games. Some of the ones they've mentioned are like Slender VR, which I don't care about. And then Memoriam. Have you heard of that?
yeah, it's been made by a studio that was a. Did you ever see that BioShock Half-Life Alex
Oh, yeah.
mod?
Yeah, I saw the mod.
They made that, and then
Okay.
they've developed into a team, and it's this the publishers are 2080 Studios, which is basically founded by Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis and another guy called Patrick.
Okay.
Uh, there's some experience there with that game. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it because it looks like really like a Dead Spacey horror game, which I think could be interesting.
Oh, and I think they also mentioned Ghost Town, so maybe they'll show some new footage of Ghost Town.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
something that I'm looking forward to as well because that's the Room VR developers who are really
yeah.
experienced as well.
Oh, and the developer of Windlands 1 and 2 is gonna, I think, maybe announce something new in this too. SciTech Games.
Oh yeah, SciTech Games. Yeah, I thought they went under actually. I didn't think they were around anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, but there's also obviously some flat to VR stuff that's going to be showcased there.
yeah. They
The
briefly
whole
showed
quest.
they briefly showed a clip of RoboQuest.
Yeah, RoboQuest is getting a new trailer, and there's a bunch of new stuff that's not even been announced before, which is going to be there. So there's some cool stuff. So
Yeah, so that's March 11th, and that's all I have. Can you think of anything else?
no, I mean I think it's already starting to turn into a reasonably good year. I think like we went from not really having anything coming out. Like obviously February's been dead, but March we've already got a few games coming out. April, May. So I think things are going to build, and we're going to start to see more and more. For some reason, everyone releases games like towards the end of the year. I think that's where the majority of the sales are. But
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to see some good games coming out before then, and then obviously towards the end of the year, we'll probably find out a lot of big stuff that are going to be coming out.
All right, that's it. It's a short one.
Yeah, hopefully
Hmm.
next one. I'm definitely going to make sure to play a lot more next time.
Okay.
Uh, I do want to
You
get. I really miss VR gaming. I don't play it much anymore.
you need to beat Resident Evil 4.
I do. I want. I do. I want to play. There's so many games I want to play. I just don't have the time anymore.
Prey Dog's Resident Evil framework I keep getting emails about updates to it, and every time I go look and I'm like, please, please, did you add first person and motion controls? And I'm just disappointed every time.
Would
But
you? Would you not get a PS? I mean, PSVR two,
nope,
which we haven't talked about, has just got a price drop. So
nope.
no. Okay.
Because I'm not going to buy a PS5. I refuse because there's nothing else on PS5 I care about.
Well, yeah, but
S-
you'd get more. There's more VR games for you to play. So
What Resident Evil 4
yeah,
and Call of the Mountain. I'm only like
yeah.
mildly interested in Call of the Mountain, and I don't really care about driving, so I don't
Turismo
really
7.
care about Gran Turismo 7. So
What
what
about
else?
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
I already have that
Oh, did
on
you?
Quest. I have it on Quest, and I played it
Okay.
once, and then I kind of lost interest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
they didn't.
else?
It has been disappointing that they've not. I expected Sony to come out hard with some really good exclusives, like some really good big. I mean, I guess we've got Hitman coming out soon, which is going to be good, but we've already played a lot of that on PC. Um, yeah, there's not been any like big Sony IPs like they had obviously the Horizon game, but there's been nothing else really that they've got. So
Yeah,
I just feel like they've kind of not bothered really, to be honest.
yeah. So what is it? $400? I saw there's a $400 bundle where you get Horizon Call of the Mountain with it. It was on Amazon. Yeah,
Yeah,
$400, and you get Horizon Call of the Mountain and the controllers and all that.
yeah.
Um, if that's all I had to buy, I probably would, but I have to buy the PS5 too. So that's the problem.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 is amazing though, so just so you know.
Prey Dog is well. It's not that amazing if you're just not playing it. That's what I think.
It is, it isn't. It's just I get distracted by so many games. So many games. I
Oh,
still don't.
Lego
God, so
Bricktales.
many games.
Lego Bricktales. You got distracted, huh?
Yeah.
You'd rather play
Yeah.
Lego Bricktales than Resident Evil 4?
The problem I have is that the PlayStation PS5 is in my living room
Mm-hmm.
on the big TV, and in the evenings when I get a chance to play, that room is already occupied with people watching TV. So like I can't play the PS5,
Oh.
PSVR games unless I like stay up until like really late or something. So that's why I'm not really playing much of that.
What if you move the PS5 to a different room?
I could do that. I could maybe just hook it up to my monitor or something. I might do that.
Do you even need a TV or monitor?
Um, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe once you set it up, maybe you could just connect it straight to your HMD and just use that as the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
That's what I
Someone
usually
will know.
do. Is I usually don't even turn on the monitor when I do VR.
You don't? How do you even
Because
like
I don't
launch all your shit?
I launch it all in the headset. You don't I don't
Yeah, but
need to like turn on a monitor. There's no reason to.
huh. I mean, I have to launch.
I don't ever log in to Windows. It's automatic. Like goes straight into Windows.
True.
So in virtual desktop, I have the app auto launching with Windows. So
Right.
I'll turn my computer on, and so that auto launches, and Steam auto launches. So everything's already there.
Right.
So
True.
like I just turn on my Quest, and then I go to virtual desktop, and then I'm there in my computer.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that with Steam VR stuff because I have to launch with the PSVR 2. I have to launch the PSVR 2 app and then I have to launch Steam VR for it to show in the headset. So
You
I don't
can't.
think I could do it
Can
that
you
way.
just make those launch on their own?
I don't think so. Not that I've seen.
Hmm.
I mean, it doesn't bother me personally, just using the monitor. But
Well, can't you launch? So I don't know how the PSVR 2 that app works. So once that app is running, are you, do you not do you just see your desktop then on the headset?
you no, you still have to launch Steam VR for it to show
Oh,
anything in the headset.
oh, okay, all right. Huh. I feel like with
Right.
PSVR 1, I didn't turn on my TV. I feel like I just turned on my PS4 and
I'm pretty sure you can actually do that because I'm pretty sure I've run before without turning the TV on. Like
yeah.
you plug you plug your PSVR 2 in, turn it on at the bottom. You turn on your controllers, and the controllers just work like a regular controller anyway. You can navigate through all the menus and shit. So it probably would be able to work. That. So I
Mm.
probably could just bring the PS5 in the office and just do it
Mm.
that way.
The only
Just
thing is you'd have to pair it. I don't know how annoying that is, but you'd have to pair it to your PS5 if you previously had it paired to your PC. I don't know how
yeah,
long.
I have done that before. You can. It's easy to pair it to the PS5 because all you do is you plug the controls into the PS5 with the charge cable,
Hmm.
and that just automatically work, even if you just unplug them again. But for PC, I have to then uh like turn. I can't turn them on. I have to like do. I press two buttons at the same time to make it so that the Bluetooth's then discoverable, and then I have to repair them to the PC. So it's a bit of a pain switching back to PC. It's not a big deal. It's not that much of a hassle really.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks everybody. Bye.